If you're a Husker fan, you're laughing like I am. The attack of the green jerseyed quarterback.
You are Locked On Huskers, your daily podcast on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, I must admit, that music is kind of a bop. It's DP here. Thank you once again for making Locked On Huskers your first watch and listen each and every day. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I want to thank the folks from FanDuel Sportsbook, again, the official sportsbook of the National Basketball Association. You can go check it out. All the details in the world. FanDuel.com/lockedon for details, perks, benefits, all the good stuff. Go ahead and jump over to FanDuel. So we understand that Nebraska football has a wonderful media team behind the football program. Lots of snippets and sound bites and wonderful clips, and to be in total full disclosure that we as media, we get to see 35 minutes of practice, in air quotes, that is mainly stretching, a small get together, a quick talk, setting instruction for the practice itself that's following the warm-ups. And I can tell you, having been in those huddles, that those short conversations are reminders that, hey, imagine yourself as parents or as a business owner or as a leader, that you grab your kids together and you say, hey, listen, go do everything that we, from all the rules that we follow, do all of that, and show your best version of you and us, because we have company. And if you misbehave while the company's here, it's going to get out that I'm not a good parent, or we don't discipline our kids, or our kids are spoiled and our kids don't pay attention. Our kids don't learn, and our kids aren't trying to. So that information is passed along. And sometimes I just want to see behind the Wizard of Oz curtain. I want to see what happens when they go live. I want to see what happens when they get out of practicing and they begin competing. It's that part that will give me answers and intel and information that I can share with you. Because the practice part, and again, Matt Rule has said, and we heard him say, listen, don't make it practice. Don't make this about practice. Make this about competing. And it takes some serious work to get individual drills and stretching to be competitive. But there's something about the mindset that's required that's important. That if we're going to stretch, and go with me here, that if we're going to stretch, I need for you to get everything from it that you're able to get from it. So if you're stretching your hamstring, don't just kind of go through the motions. Don't semi-stretch. Don't kind of stretch. Don't almost stretch. Actually stretch. Allow your muscles to get from the process whatever they're supposed to get from. And if you're going to go through and your quarterback's going to make throws, okay, give me one perfect throw at a time. Like, that's it. Go through each rep of the drill to do all the things that we asked you to do, the way we asked you to do it, one time. And then once we've done that, let's do it again and again and again. But remember, it's about this one time. Get it right. When people talk about being 1% better, being able to hold that concentration, to be able to be disciplined enough to not take the easy route. Don't go back into your drop at practice speed. Go into it at game speed, or what you perceive game speed to be. Don't make the throw against air. Make in your mind that throw you have to imagine that there's an Ohio State corner sitting on that route, and that you've got a small window to throw through, a small window to get the ball out of your hand, and a small window to fit it into. And there's a place that you want to get it to, depending on who the receiver is that you're throwing it to is. And so each rep has to be, okay, I have to know the sequence. I have to know what my keys are. I have to know where my eyes need to go. Am I moving a corner? Am I moving a safety? Am I identifying a blitzing linebacker? Can I step up in the pocket, or is that window going to close? Is the window going to be 5-hole? So if I know that window is where I need to throw, then hopefully that lineman keeps that window clean so I can throw through it on time and on purpose. But that's the thing about practice in the spring, is that you're trying to get, as that rule says, we're trying to get folks to compete while eyes are watching. And to be clear, Nebraska media, there's a lot of numbers for a state that doesn't have a lot of people. Look, there's no NFL team. There's no NBA team. There's no major baseball league team. There's no National Hockey League team here. This is it. The Huskers are it. And as fans, you know that people want to know. And there's just tons of folks who are creating content, or at least trying to. And I try in this space, in this window that we have each day, is to just give you a little bit of insight of what I see and how I see it. So I try to explain to you that I understand in my heart of hearts that we all want to know who can hit, who could run, who runs the best route, who has the best hands, who looks the strongest, who looks the toughest. And those are all the things that we will find out, and we'll get a better perspective on April 22nd. But we won't have all the answers on April 22nd or 23rd or the 25th. We just won't. We'll have more answers, but we won't have all the answers. But we'll put a pin there and go to it, because when I come back, I want to talk about, look, there was a green jersey that in the film that social media took and shared got a little physical. And it's a big story because of who was wearing the green jersey. But we'll talk about that when we come back to Locked On. Hey, gang, welcome back. Locked On Huskers. Thank you for making Locked On Huskers your first watch and listen each and every single day. I hope, and I'm going to ask, that you subscribe. Get this content each and every day. Put your feelings down in the comments if there's something you want me to talk about. Go ahead and put it in the comments as well. I want to thank the folks again. Locked On NFL Draft. The Locked On NFL people are doing exceptional work, and they've isolated some players that they think are going to get some of that first round and second round interest and conversation. So find Locked On NFL, Locked On NFL Draft. You can find them on YouTube or however you consume your daily podcast. We were talking about the video, the social media content that's clipped. It's a moment in time, and they capture it. Then sometimes there's context, and sometimes there's not. Sometimes the video looks like somebody made one heck of a play, or that somebody got beat, or somebody got beat up, or somebody got burned, or somebody got shut down. But the reality is we don't know the situation, circumstance behind the play. Like, we don't know. Was this a zone? Was this man coverage? Was that person one-on-one? Were they expecting help from somebody else? We don't know. Was the other person who's late in the video, was the other person late? Were they on time? Were they the actual defender? Was somebody expecting friction on a play and didn't get it? Or the opposite, which was an unnamed defender, and I won't do that to the defender, who, in what appeared to be some live action, because there was actually some blocking going on, But the green jersey, which means a player is untouchable. Like you can come up and tap him on the shoulder and, you can go up and bump him, but, green shirt, leave him be. You know, not all football players are created equal. That green jersey means hands off. So when you see a video of a known defender, somebody who has played for Nebraska in the Big Ten, and you see them getting thumped, and I mean they took a shot. What caused the buzz? One, because Nebraska loves contact. that should be, the Huskers like a little contact. That should be the next big T-shirt. Is we like a little contact. But this is a player who's 6'5", 210, 215 pounds, depending on the day and who you ask how much he weighs. Green jersey came up and put a thump on this defensive linebacker, and it was a good stick. I mean, boom. Make the head change levels, make the pads pop. Yeah, displace the defender. Yep. The reason why it was a much bigger story is that player was wearing number 10. It was Heinrich Harburg, one of the quarterbacks of note, putting a body on. Now, remember, he had on a green jersey, which means you can't hit him. I'm not sure what the team rules are about green shirts making blocks. But if I'm a defender and I can't hit Mr. Green Shirt certainly shouldn't be thumping on me. But maybe that's how business is being done. I'm slightly more than curious now to know whether that's a thing, because I would imagine that defender wrote down number 10 green, circled it, and keeps it on a sticky note inside his thigh pad just to remind him that at some point that bill is going to come due. That hitter has got to pay. That hitter happens to be a quarterback of note. So I'm pretty sure at some point after practice they had a little discussion. But in the back of the mind of that defender, you better keep your head on a swivel. You might want to pay attention, because if that green shirt protects you from me, it better sure protect me from you. But that's the thing. And look, the reason why that's also a story, I mean, again, Nebraska loves contact, right? Nebraska fans love contact. They love physical. Matt Rule's talked about that he wants his team to be a physical team. They want to play and they want to be aggressive, and they want to be the hammer, not the nail, and all of those things. But the fact that Harburg, with his size, in a loaded quarterback room, and a lot of the speculation has been, well, this is a guy that might end up being moved to tight end. And if he's willing to come up and put his pads on somebody and get a thump going, that there's a part of the fan base that went, wait a minute. Okay. Maybe he can't play tight end. Maybe he does have the physicality. Now, 215, not sure how much of that you want to keep leaning up against defenders, but he doesn't have to play at 215. He can play at 230. He can play at 235 pretty easily, I would imagine. But then that would negate some of the Harburg as quarterback conversation. You see, it's a full room, and it's a full and talented room, according to Matt Rule, that this is one of the most talented quarterback rooms that he's ever been with at the college level. And he puts that disclaimer on it, at the college level, as a head coach, right? So he's talking about Temple Bay. Like, we understand that that's what he's saying, that, listen, this quarterback room is more talented. Now, is it skilled? Is it as productive? Is it having the kind of success that the other ones did? No, not yet. But he's saying that they're more talented. And Harburg may be the most talented of the bunch when it comes to just the physical attributes of playing quarterback. Now, there are people what's the movie from Wildcats, the football movie, where Woody Harrelson says, well, I can run good and I can throw good, but I can't always run and throw good. And that's been a thing with Harburg, is waiting to see whether he evolves into the complete, full quarterback that Nebraska wants and needs for him to be. But if he's not, then people will start to whisper and consider and talk about Harburg as a tight end. Now, I don't know the answer to where he's going to be, Saturday, April 22nd, or, August 22nd, or September 22nd. Certainly don't know where he's going to be, November 22nd. I don't know what position he's going to be at. I don't know where on the depth chart he's going to be. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That is the thing that we know to be true. Absolutely. Last season, with Casey Thompson as the starter, Casey getting injured, both Logan Smothers and Chopper Purdy got starts in the Big Ten Conference for Nebraska. Harburg was at least quarterback number 4. But we know that there's curiosity within the program and within the coaching staff about the young man as talent. We'll find out more as this spring practice moves along. We'll find out more at the spring game. But what we know, he'll put those pads on you. Yes, he will. We'll throw the break. We'll come back. We'll close it out talking more about getting you set up for spring game, April 22nd. More Locked On Huskers. Hey, gang, DP here, Locked On Huskers. Once again, thank you for making Locked On Huskers your first watch and listen each and every single day. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Do that for us, if you would, please. Again, we thank the folks from FanDuel for what they do for us and allowing us to bring this content to you. America's #1 sports book. It's a great app. It's safe. It's secure. It's convenient. Jump on FanDuelSportsbook.com. FanDuel.com/lockedon for more details. It's right there. Have at it. April 22nd being 2 weeks away. It's an interesting schedule. There'll be some days off for this Husker team to kind of rest and recoup and to give them a break. I mean, they're on a practice count, so the numbers will fit within the schedule. There were some recruits in the building, and that's been part of the discussion. A lot of some high school coaches have been in the building, being able to get their eyes on Matt Rule and his staff and to find out what it is they're doing and how they're going about doing it. It is a big part of being the head coach at the University of Nebraska, is making the community have some ownership of the program and feel like they're connected to it and feel like they're involved in it and feel like they're contributing. And if you're a high school coach, and it's a big deal for a high school coach in the state of Nebraska, specifically in areas that are not convenient to the University of Nebraska, to feel connected to the University of Nebraska and the football program. You see the way Nebraska is spread out, that you can go to all corners of the state and find talent. And you want to keep Nebraska's talent in Nebraska. Now, that's not easy to do, especially when you're only winning, 4 games a year. But if you're going to change that, and I'm not sure which happens first. I'm not sure which came first, the chicken or the egg. Whether winning helps you recruit or whether better recruiting helps you win. Development is still going to be required no matter what. But being in ownership of the talent within your own state, especially when it has the legacy and the history of the Nebraska football program, it is vital, absolutely vital, that they win the recruiting battle in the state and stay connected. Have coaches refer their kids and feel comfortable that they're given a legitimate shot at being a member of this program. Having parents be able to reach out and share and say, listen, I'm an alum. I've got a kid that can play. And not just, hey, I'm alum, I want my kid to play. There's a difference. But being open to those discussions and being open to that messaging it's just vital and important. And it's good to see that Matt Rule and his staff is out in the streets and that they're giving people a reason to come in and feel connected to the program. That has not always been the case, and folks that are fans understand. You get it. It's important for Matt Rule and this coaching staff to feel like they have access to the talent in Nebraska, that they are a priority for the talent in the state of Nebraska, and that it is reciprocated, that the talent in this state feels open to and welcomed by this football program. That's a part of the work, again, with all the coaching and teaching, the recruiting side of it and the NIL side of it, and then the alumni side of it. It's all in play. And that's before you get to actually practicing, actually playing games, actually getting to regular season and playing in the Big Ten Conference. It is hands full and all hands on deck for Matt Rule and his coaching staff and this administration. We are all collective. We're all united in hoping that they get it right. They have everything they need, all the resources, all the talent. It's just a matter now of executing. And that is from the mouth of Matt Rule. Execute. Once again, thank you for making Locked On Huskers your first watch and listen each and every single day. Make the second one go to NFL, Locked On the NFL, Locked On NFL Draft. All the prospects that are considered for first round and second round, those names that you're familiar with and some that you're not, but you can go in and get details heading into the draft on YouTube or however else you consume your podcast on a daily basis. Once again, we close with those three words that we love so much. Go Big Red.